due to respect of my age and my being a widow, being alone, I think that LALB should open this and give it a real good, thorough investigation and do the job they're designed to do. Shame on you for letting a person like me turn out like I am.
Why don't you come up a little bit closer, Miss Story? I'm sure you won't. You did a fantastic job in court today, and I'm sure you won't mind repeating that. I just want to make certain that we don't have any kind of audio problem. Go back just a little too close, all right? Would you mind just saying both to the LALB itself, this is your opportunity to address them, both to the LALB itself and also as a forewarning of other consumers. Now, I'm going to ask you to just repeat kind of what you just said, and then we're going to get Reverend Phillips as the president of LAPA's take on this. So would you mind just giving the overview of what you just relayed?
LALB, you have been designed to do a job. And one of the jobs is to protect the public, to protect elderly people like me. And I think you need to reopen this investigation, do the job that I deserve having done for me, and I think you should take it from here. Thank you.
Well, and let me just ask you this, Ms. Story. What is your thought about the LALB's differing treatment for Francis Thompson's son?
Very unfair, very unfair. If my husband was a senator or the governor of Louisiana, I'm sure I wouldn't have been done like this.
Correct.
Number 4 is a report on the Story litigation and request for additional hearing. Larry could not be here today, but I do have a written report that he has rendered, and I'm just going to go ahead and read that for the benefit of everyone. Pursuant to Ms. Story's letter of November 4th, 2014, and a more recent video request by Robert Burns, Freddie Phillips, and Betty Story, there has been a request by Ms. Story to have the above referenced complaint reinvestigated and reviewed by the board, that complaint being Betty Story versus Schmidt. Additionally, the aforementioned video alleges that the Louisiana Auctioneer Licensing Board has failed to fulfill its duties in connection with this matter. As an overview of the history of this matter, Ms. Story's complaint has now been reviewed by 3 separate entities, LALB, the 36th Judicial District Court, as well as the 19th Judicial District Court. On or about September 10th of 2013, this matter came before the LALB pursuant to a complaint filed by Ms. Story against Marlo Schmidt, alleging violations of the auctioneer statute. After considering the evidence and arguments, LALB found that Marlo Schmidt was not guilty of violating Louisiana Revised Statute 37:3121A4 or Louisiana Revised Statute 37:2121A5. On November 14th, 2013, Ms. Story filed a complaint for damages against Marlo Schmidt in the 36th Judicial District Court for the parish of Beauregard. In said suit, Ms. Story complained she was owed $5,000 in connection with the subject auction. No judgment was ever entered in this matter, but a trial took place on October 29th of 2014, in which the district judge ordered that Marlo Schmidt pay Ms. Story the amount of $4,102.29. The record indicated that Mr. Schmidt voiced his concerns regarding this case being brought up again before the court. However, the court stated that this matter was thereby concluded. On August 27, 2014, Ms. Story filed a petition for damages against the LALB in the 19th Judicial District Court. Ms. Story alleged that the LALB acted in gross negligence and reckless action in failing to find Mr. Schmidt guilty. Ms. Story requested the court award her $10,000 from the LALB for damages she would have been able to recover from Mr. Schmidt's bond. Counsel for the board filed exceptions of no cause of action and prescription, which were granted by the court. This matter was thereafter dismissed by the court, finding Ms. Story did not have a cause of action against LALB for the damages asserted. After the aforementioned dismissal of the 19th JDC lawsuit, Ms. Story, with the assistance and mentoring of Robert Burns and Freddie Phillips, recorded and posted a video requesting that the LALB reinvestigate this matter. The video further alleges that the LALB has been biased in reviewing other matters and is guilty of failing to perform the duties in which it was organized to perform. After a review of the documents filed in each of the 3 above discussed matters, it is our office's opinion that no further action needs to be taken by LALB. In connection with the original hearing before the LALB, Ms. Story did not appeal the original decision, and the time for appeal has now run. In reference to the 36 JDC matter filed against Mr. Schmidt, Ms. Story claimed damages in the amount of $5,000. However, the judge found Ms. Story to be entitled to damages in the amount of $4,102.29. It is our understanding that Mr. Schmidt has paid a set amount to Ms. Story. It is also our understanding that Ms. Story has not appealed the decision rendered in the 36 JDC, and the time for appeal has now passed. Due to the allegations made by Ms. Story and Mr. Burns in the video that has been posted to the LAPA's website, we felt it necessary to address the board concerning this matter.
All right, board members, y'all vote for report, any discussion?
The only discussion that I would make is if there is a new finding with regard to the shill bidding, and Ms. Story wishes to pursue that and actually make a complaint on that, then I think we could put that on the hearing agenda and actually hear that particular complaint. With regard to the movables, with the judge's decision, even though there's not a written judgment, it's my opinion that the matter is res judicata, because although there's no written judgment, I understand that a fine was paid or an amount was paid, which makes it res judicata. So I am not going to go into the movables, but I personally would be in favor of entertaining a new complaint based upon the immovable property and whether or not there was shill bidding, if in fact Mrs. Story wishes to make that complaint.
You got anything, Jerry? Second that, what's the motion?
I'll make it in the form of a motion.
Motion made. You read the motion back, Cindy?
I'm sorry, I was not aware it was a motion, so no, I was not taking notes. I'll have to get off it.
Okay, so you want me to go over it again?
Roll, please, darling, give us the motion.
Okay, I would like to make a motion that Mrs. Story is invited to make a complaint based upon shill bidding and the immovable property as a new matter, and that the board entertain discussions and a hearing on that particular issue, if in fact she wishes to make such a complaint. I do believe, I'd like to make a motion that the issue of the movable property is res judicata, because the judge has already said that he made a finding, and in fact an amount of money was paid.
I'll second that. Everybody understand the motion? Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.